I love this. I think this is exactly what this fight needs. Boxing hardcores know how good this fight is. Casuals don't. Casuals don't understand how an 11-0 guy can go fight a guy who's 29-0 when it's going to be a good fight. This is a fantastic matchup. This is the kind of fight that this is potentially one for the ages.
Welcome into Boxing Scene's top stories on ProBox TV. Download the ProBox TV app. Never fall behind in your boxing news. Well, it's a showdown of the Davids. That's right, Benavidez and Morrell. February 1st, a light heavyweight unification fight, although they're both interim champions. We'll get to that in a minute. Well, the bad blood, however, flowing between Morrell and Benavidez at the pre-fight presser. Hope your Spanglish is good.
And I'm not playing when I say I'm going to break his mouth, because that's exactly what I'm going to do.
Yeah. David Morrell, really? when he says...
Man, you don't have power for this.
You don't have, I don't have power for this. I don't have power? No, I don't have power?
Not for this.
I'm going to show you.
I'm going
to show you. I'm going to show you. I'm going to break your fucking mouth. I'm going to break your fucking mouth.
Hell no. You don't have power to break my mouth.
Talking all that shit. When you have a fucking jaw brace on, that's going to be... That's my gift to you.
You boys,
that's my gift to you.
You know more better, man. Like, shut the fuck up, bitch. What the fuck do you mean?
What are you saying?
You know... Man, you're a stupid shit.
I'm gonna beat the fuck out of you.
No, man, okay.
I'm gonna beat the fuck out of you.
Okay, baby, what do you do?
Beat the fuck out of you.
Whatever you do.
All right. And then I want you to come ready, because I'll beat the fuck out of you. I want you guys to give me the props I deserve. All right, we'll see.
Whatever you do.
We'll see.
Whatever you do.
You know what? Like I said, these are the type of fighters I want people that are
stupid.
What the fuck you getting on your phone for? We're in the press.
My guy's more important to you, bro.
Now he's gonna go on Instagram. Look at this guy. He's nervous, man.
Number what?
Vas a ver.
¿Qué voy a ver, mijo? ¿Qué voy a ver? Voy a ver de un ciego nunca vio. Voy a ver de un ciego nunca vio, mijo. No se me preocupe, chiquita, ahí la atiendo. Ahí la atiendo cuando quiera. No se me preocupe, chiquita, que ahí la atiendo. Tu papá sabe lo que estás diciendo, tú no, porque tú no eres allá, mijo. Tranquilo.
The fuck is this guy saying?
Ahora para el pinche puto, no mames ya.
Where is he? This is what I want. I want somebody that's confident. I want him to think he's gonna come beat me. I want him to think he's gonna come knock me out. I'm gonna beat the fuck out of him.
Yo voy a hablar en mi idioma. No que mi mexicano, pero no te entiende, papi. No que mi mexicano, no que mi carita. Papi, el hocico yo.
I don't even know what the fuck this guy is saying.
Sí, claro.
Martin, can you translate real quick what he just said?
Martin don't know what he's saying. There's no nobody can translate this guy.
Habla porque es la única forma que tiene de defenderte, papi.
Okay.
In all fairness, Cuban Spanish is kind of its own thing. If you live here in South Florida, you understand completely. F-bombs, S-bombs flying around the press conference. Fortunately, I'm joined by two guys who aren't easily offended. That's right, the champs, Paulie Malignaggi, Chris Algieri. Paulie, you say it all the time, you like a little beef. You like it when guys cook, when they don't really like one another. A little bit of that going on. What do you think?
Yeah. The competition breeds bad blood, you know, and that's what we got here. You know, you got competition. You got two guys that really want to excel in the sport. You got two guys that are two of the best that win the sport, actually want to fight each other and want to prove it to the sport and to themselves, who is going to keep vying for that top spot in the light heavyweight division. And you can see it. You can see it. They can't wait to put hands on each other. And this is good, man. This is what you want. You want to see. You don't want to, like I said, I've never really been one to get too excited about press conferences and promos where guys are too respectful to one another. I think, you have to have a sort of a little bit of bite to your press conferences, a little bit of bite to your events and build up to a fight, so that people want to watch people throw hands against one another. And I like that, man. Listen, they're two very good fighters. It gets dragged into the mud with the trash talking, of course. Cuban Spanish is very difficult to understand. They cut off their words a lot of times. But, yeah, I mean, I caught some of that, I mean, Morrell's trying to say, like, I don't speak Mexican or whatever to Benavidez, try to, like, downplay his Spanish because Benavidez was downplaying Morrell's Spanish. So I guess it's a battle of Latino macho,
What I love about it is it's not disingenuous. They got into it at a photo shoot, had to be separated, so there are problems behind the scenes. Chris, when you look at it, not just the fact that they don't like one another, when you get another fighter to fight emotionally, to get out of his game, you can win in that way. Do you think there's a little bit of that gamesmanship going on? Who do you think should fight less emotionally, might be thrown off their game because of this?
Honestly, I don't know. I mean, with these two guys, they're both young and hungry, have a lot to prove. They both understand. This comes because as much as this is a lot of disrespect, this is coming out because they respect each other. They respect each other's skills. So they're pushing each other's buttons to step over the other guy, make him look bad in front of everybody else. I love this. I think this is exactly what this fight needs. Boxing hardcores know how good this fight is. Casuals don't. Casuals don't understand how an 11-0 guy can go fight a guy who's 29-0 when it's going to be a good fight. This is a fantastic matchup. This is the kind of fight that this is potentially one for the ages. You got two guys who are in their primes, two guys who are willing to take a chance, take a risk against each other with humongous opportunities and potentials with the winner of this fight. So the fact that these guys are fighting, it's kind of rare these days, which is very unfortunate. So casuals may not understand that because they don't know all the idiosyncrasies of this sport and what goes on with both these guys in terms of their careers and where they're at. But this, they understand. Everyone understands bad blood. Everyone understands when guys need to be separated. Everyone understands that guys are yelling in your face. Whether you can understand their Cuban Spanish or their Mexican Spanish, doesn't matter. You understand beef. These guys have beef. It's real. It's genuine. Listen, this is going to be good for both of them. This is going to sell this fight that much more, which is going to get a lot more eyes on it, which it truly deserves because it is a fantastic matchup.
Well, you brought it up, Chris. So, Paul, let me ask you, future opportunities for the winner. Samson Likowitz says, who is Benavidez' promoter manager, he says, once Benavidez is done with this fight, assuming he wins, he will get the opportunity at Bivol or Beterbiev after their rematch. But Paulie, we've seen a million times, if the rematch is good and it goes the other way, it goes to Dimitri Bivol, we might see a trilogy fight. Yeah. What's it like betting on that opportunity a little bit later? Do you think the cards fall in the right place? Because essentially Beterbiev would have to win, sweep them, and win both. Is that a possibility?
Yeah, that's the politics of the game. The unfortunate thing these guys are dealing with is that you have undisputed champions in two weight classes that they've been campaigning at. In one weight class, the other guy doesn't want to see them at all. And in the light heavyweight division, you've got a rivalry at the top of it that may require 2 or 3 fights to settle. So yeah, it is unfortunate. You know, we don't live in a time where, you know, fighters fight once a month to where, you know, okay, they can get rid of that one and then they can get you know, fight each other. You know, but I want to go back and revisit what the champ Chris said about casuals maybe not being as excited about this. You know, this is a boxing fan's fight. You know, if you watch boxing, you know how good of a fight this is. You know, and yes, the casuals may not get excited, but I think boxing fans in general, a true boxing fan gets more excited about this than a lot of things that casuals get excited for. For example, if you thought Mike Tyson threw the fight against Jake Paul, you might be a casual. If you thought Jake Paul took it easy on Mike Tyson the other night, you might be a casual. If you got more excited about Canelo versus Berlanga than you are about this fight, you might be a casual. If you think Canelo would beat either of these two guys and are going to criticize the loser of this fight after it happens because, you know, what Canelo would have done to him, you probably are a casual. So, you know, I love a fighter's fight. I love a fight fan's fight, a true fight fan's fight. I love a true boxing fan's fight. I love a true matchup. But I also love, like he said, like the champ said, the bad blood. Because the bad blood translates to the casuals as well as to the boxing fans. But us boxing fans, we know how good of a fight this is.
What I'm curious about, Chris, your take on maybe the future of the winner of this big fight February 1st is there a middle fight if, for example, it doesn't work out with Bivol Beterbiev, they can't make that in time, or if Canelo doesn't want either guy, are there those mid-level fights in the light heavyweight division for the winner of this fight?
Absolutely. I mean, the light heavyweight division is a very stacked division. There's a lot of really good fighters. Joshua Buatsi is in there. Anthony Yard is in there. Anthony Yard is often forgotten because he's taken some hard losses, but he's always entertaining, and he's a tough guy to get through. And then Buatsi is a very avoided guy because he's so damn good. But I think he belongs in this discussion as well. Buatsi does. So there are other fights out there. And Jimmy, man, I don't have a crystal ball because there's so many ways that the Beterbiev-Bivol rematch could go in terms of what's going to happen to them after that. Whether there's a rubber match, whether these guys, whether Beterbiev retires, win, lose, or draw. So there's a lot of options that could happen that way. I really don't know what's going to happen, but if I was going to guess, I would think that there's going to be an interim fight. I don't think that the winner of this fight is going to go directly to the winner of Beterbiev-Bivol, just because there's so many opportunities so many other options that could happen. So look for a guy like a Joshua Buatsi or an Anthony Yard to step in as an opponent for one of these guys or both of these guys. There's a lot of really good fights that could happen at 175, and just interesting matchups all around.
Likowitz says that he's not waiting around like he did for Canelo. That took too long. It took years off his fighter. He's not doing that when it comes to Beterbiev-Bivol. Paulie, would this be a huge loss for the boxing world if the winner of this fight didn't get that next level fight against either Bivol, Beterbiev, Canelo? Out of those three, do you think it's a loss eventually? if we don't get it.
I think it's a loss to the boxing world to keep the super middleweight division stagnant. I do, because it's a very packed weight class with a lot of talent. These two guys had to leave the super middleweight division hoping to get a title shot at the higher weight class. I don't think it's as much of a problem at light heavyweight, because you have the two best fighters in the light heavyweight division contesting right now for the undisputed light heavyweight title. You have some very good light heavyweights as well as these two guys, but I'm not sure that Benavidez and that Beterbiev and Bivol are not still better, head and shoulders above the rest of them, including these two at light heavyweight. Remember, these two guys are still super middleweights who moved up to, or moving up to light heavyweight. So I don't think it's as damaging to the light heavyweight division, because, like I just said, Beterbiev and Bivol probably are contesting for it and are the two best guys. But at super middleweight, like I said, I can go on and on and on and on again. As a matter of fact, going on to what you might be a casual, you are a casual if you are still making excuses about Canelo not fighting these guys.
Yeah, when you look at it, Chris, both these guys coming off disappointing. I don't want to say disappointing, but maybe lackluster performances in their last fight. Against tough, tricky guys with awkward styles, is there a little bit of a redemption angle to this fight?
Yeah, I think I would say sub-expectation type fights in terms of their performances. But I'm going to go with their opponents. I think their opponents are really, really solid and tough guys. I think Vosdick showed up and put on almost a very high-level career loss. He brought out there, he made it competitive, showed up in phenomenal shape. I've never seen him look like that. His physique was incredible at 36 or 37 years old. But also, he's a fantastic fighter. He's given Beterbiev the toughest night he's ever had. So Benavidez moving up and going the distance with him, but also winning handily. Is that really a knock on him? If you look past the numbers, it's not. And then when you got Hot Rod, who's fought on our air, listen, that guy fought an entirely different fight than the one that he fought Beterbiev. Beterbiev, he went right at him. He was shot out of a cannon. He's like, this is what I've always done to guys.
That's the only guy that made Hot Rod look bad, right? Hot Rod made Marcus Brown look bad. Hot Rod's a real difficult guy to deal with.
Essentially beat Marcus Brown that he dropped him a few times. Very, very disputed decision. And Hot Rod has looked great since then. They got a highlight reel career best knockout on our air against Sullivan Barrera, who was a very, very solid contender at 175. Hot Rod is a tough out. Also, he's a different guy now. You saw that in and out movement. Guess what? He's been in training camp with Artur Beterbiev. He learned how to box better. So we gave him a much tougher fight, a much different look to Morrell than we've seen him in past fights. So you really can't compare Hot Rod's performance against Beterbiev against the one that he gave against Morrell. Guess it, Morrell won that fight too, so it wasn't really a disputed decision. He just underperformed from what was expected of him. So I think both of those fights, you got to look at the opponents more so than their actual performance that night.
Well, when you look at the light heavyweight division, it is right now red hot. Check out our breakdowns of light heavyweight, the ranking show on our ProBox TV channel. Well, speaking of red hot, it was great in Ireland last time around. We're doing it again December 7th, an all-Irish main event. ProBox TV, don't miss it.
ProBox TV Contender Series. On December 7th, look for an all-out Irish war as Dylan the Real Deal Moran battles Tyrone the Mighty Celt McKenna at the top of a stacked ProBox-worthy card.
For more ProBox TV, scan the QR code on the screen or go to the App Store and Google Play. ProBox TV, your boxing channel.